Hey guys, I'm Owen from Hilden Brewery in Northern Ireland. Today we're going to show you around the brewery, show you the beers we make, do a little bit of beer tasting with the beers we're doing for Cyberfest 5, Beer 52 and St Paddy's Day. We're going to go through the brewery and show you what we do here, how we do it a wee bit differently. As you can see, we are at Hilden House, Hilden Brewery, and around me are the stables that we started off in. So it's a nice, really old site. It's where we take some of our inspiration from in what we do. And we've been here for, this is our 40th year. And we are actually Ireland's oldest independent brewery. It's a claim that we're really proud of, but at the same time to say that 40 years isn't really that long a time. So it shows how far Irish craft brewing has come in the last 40 years, indeed, just in the last 10 to 15. So we're really happy to be part of that and part of this festival, and we'll show you what we do over here. So this is our brew house at Hilden. I'll walk you through it really quickly. It's a really traditional style of brewing, and it works because it's the way people have been doing things for centuries. We're born out of a cask ale tradition, so the beers we make here are really sessionable beers. We've obviously evolved with the times, and we've got the IPAs and things like that going on. We do a lot of dry hopping here, but those are where our roots are and what our brew house is kind of born out of. This is where everything starts off and where we start with all our raw materials and bring them together to make the beer. So the first tank we have is our mash tun, just here. This is where we are going to put all our grains into it, add the water, and get the sweet sugars that we need to make the beer. We run the sweet liquid out of here to the next vessel, which is our copper, or brew kettle as might be more commonly known, where we add the hops to get the bitterness. The next tank is over here, it's our hopback. Yeah, this is our hopback here. So not every brewery has one of these, but it's kind of born out of our age. We've been around a long time, so breweries have had these for a lot of time. But this is where we can add loads more hops to the beer and add that depth of character to the beer that we really want to get. It's a wee bit old, you know, it's clad in wood so you don't burn your fingers when you touch it, and generally somebody else gets in here to clean it out every day because that's a bit of a job to dig out 40 kilos of wet hops out of here when we're finished brewing. Now we're going to take a look at the fermenters where the brewing magic happens. It's even harder getting out than it is getting in. So brewing's a 24-hour operation, but because we don't want to be here 24 hours, we have our computer screen to look after our fermenters and the temperatures that everything ferments at. So it gives a bit of extra control, make sure the beer is in just the right condition when we get it into the can ready to use. So in here is our fermenting room, a cold block, whatever you want to call it. This is where we bring the extract from our brew house, we add the yeast and we let it do its business. It turns the sugar into alcohol, and it's a process of about 2 weeks to get the beer ready. We also dry hop in here where we add loads more hops to the beer to get that, extend that depth of flavour, get the really fruity, citrusy flavours that we all like these days from our craft beers. We've got a big brewery here, so we can do about 7,000 litres per batch, but we don't have that many tanks, so it means we're only brewing about 3 to 4 times a week. But it's still about 20,000 litres a week. We have our own sort of hop rocket here made by our local welder, which we call our Cullibackie rocket. So if you're from Northern Ireland, that means something to you. If you're not, just go with it. And to give us an extra bit of control over how the beer reaches you, we have a centrifuge as well to separate all the excess yeast and hops, get it into can in the best condition we can. So the guys are canning. We can go and have a look, see what they're up to, see how we get the beer in the can. So this is our canning and bottling line. Today, obviously, we're canning. We do beers for other breweries as well. And today we're doing a beer for one of our local breweries, Farmageddon. We roll all the cans out and then they get labelled on the little machine in the corner, and then they flow through into the room here. Label machine for when we're bottling, the can rinser for when we're canning, and then today the canning machine's running. We also have the bottling line then, the beers run through there. We do 500, 330 mils. The big bonus about this is we control everything. Our bottling line bought and paid for. We've been doing that for about 5 or 6 years now. So canning, we're like, oh, that's interesting, but do I really have to spend all that money? Yes. You guys like the cans? I'd say I'm coming around the idea now too. They're pretty good. So if you have a favourite, we have the choice now. So now you've seen where we make it all, let's go and try a couple of beers that you'll be having this weekend. Hi guys, today we're going to be trying Twisted Hop from Hilden Brewery. It's one of our longer serve beers. It was probably our first foray into dry hopping at any level. It's won quite a few awards, champion beer of the Dublin Beer Festival, first time out, so we're really chuffed with that. And it's been with us probably for about 10 or 12 years now, and it's kind of evolved a little bit over those times. And it's an interesting story. It's how us as a cask brewer kind of evolved into doing something in the more contemporary style, more dry hopping, and sort of learning new skills. Beer's been around a long time, so traditionally when you're making the beer, you get your sugar, you boil it up, you add your hops, and that gets it bitter, you ferment that and it gets you the beer. So that's how we made these beers, and then we added loads of hops in, tried adding loads of hops to give that more hop forward and aromatic taste that we really grow and love to know, understand these days. But what we found out was like we're making really superb bitters. It wasn't really IPAs or pale ales even. And it's because we were still doing the same bitterness at the start of the brew, and it kind of carries through right through the beer at the end when you get it into the can. So we've toned that down a bit. It's still a drier, crisper beer than some of our other IPAs and pales and things that we're doing out there. But we found that sort of, for this particular beer, the balance between bittering hops at the start of a boil and all those late hops we put in the hop back, and still more into the dry hop in the fermenter. Get a lot of positive feedback from it over the years, so I'm endeared to it. Won't be ready to let go of that anytime soon. It might be a bit random that it has a big boot in the front of it, but it's because the brewery started off and converted horse stable, riding stables. And the designers really bought into that, and as did we. You know, nobody really wants to set up a brewery in a 200-year-old stables unless you get caught up in the romanticism of it all. And so we use it everywhere we can. So there is a riding boot in the front, and you'll see that in some other designs that we do here. We take inspiration from the history of the place and the history of where our brewery is and has grown up. So I'll start off with this Twisted Hop, 4.7, a bit more punchier. And I think you can tell that if you have a couple of these. Nice pale beer, nice white foamy head, nice creamy. And again, the hop flavors or hop aromas and flavors will be apparent to you as you drink this. See, there's a wee bit more depth in this beer. The dry hopping is Amarillo and Simcoe. And there's a Munich in the malt as well, a good proportion of Munich. It makes it just a little bit richer. And then I think we'll also see the early hops that go into the bitterness in this. So it's kind of just a drier, slightly crisper beer than the other ones that we have here. At 4.7%, it's still not like a heavyweight there, but I think it's strong enough to step up, carry that bit more hoppiness. I think there's a wee bit more depth in the body of the beer, a bit more sweetness. I hope you can pick that out. It all depends, I suppose, in what order you're drinking your beers at home, with everybody else who's taking part in this St. Paddy's Day event. So this one, like I say, it's just a really nice sessionable pale ale. I hope you can enjoy it more, and again, see a bit more about there. Drop us a line if you want more information on it, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.